Welcome to Altcoin Alpha Day. On today's show, myself, Rob, and Forrest are going to share our favorite plays, our alpha plays on the altcoins, and where we think the money's going to flow. Stock markets at all-time highs. Bitcoin went up to 90K, crashed right back down to 87. What's the next move? The big options expiry came and went. Also, is there another government shutdown looming and what that could mean for your bags? We're going to talk about all that on today's show. Gina, roll the intro.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to day after Christmas crypto show. Spent a lot of money on Christmas. Need to make some of that back. A lot of family, cousins, aunts, uncles. That's why I'm here.
Wow.
I'm here to make some money back because Christmas has broken me down financially.
Do you have a visual representation of your family tree that you explained? Family cousins, he said.
My family tree is full of weeds that just keep popping up new ones. I'm just like, where did y'all come from?
It's always around the holidays too, you know?
It is.
Got to go buy those extra presents. Hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. For those of you that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. I went to bed late Christmas Eve, woke up at the ass crack of dawn. Actually, before the sun even came up, 5 in the morning, my two youngest were standing at the edge of my bed, speaking some weird language I couldn't understand, saying, "Dad, wake up, Santa came." I'm like, no, he didn't. I brought the presents. Anyways, we have Forrest joining us. Forrest, how you doing, man?
Good. What's up? How's it going?
How's your Christmas, my friend?
Good. It's good.
Did Santa bring you
little
good
flu
gifts?
going around, but fortunately we managed to dodge it. Just have some family members that have it, but otherwise good.
I am a little congested today. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I mean, my lungs and my nose and stuff. Okay, let's start with Bitcoin price action. So I made money. I took an L on a trade yesterday. I took a short and I lost, but then I came right back and I took a long. I took a short a long, and then this morning I didn't get up in time to short the market. But just literally what we've been talking about, what I've been talking about on the show is that 90 to 80, well, it was 90 to 85. Now it looks like more like 90 to $87,000 range. Let me pull up a Bitcoin chart really quick, and we can kind of talk through it. And then we'll get Rob and Forrest's thoughts on whether they think Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to go up or we're going to see another spill off. Look at this. I mean, this was a 2% candle in a 1 hour. This was a 2% candle in a 1 hour, right? One was to the upside, one was to the downside. Guess what? 89 got up to almost 90K, and it dipped right back down again, found its footing at around 86.7. Printed this pretty bullish engulfing candle here on Bitcoin on the hourly time frame. But one thing I will note, though, the volume on the moves up versus volumes on the moves down, there's a big disparity there, right? We get big moves up, lower volume than we get on the big moves down. To me, that means something. It means at least in the short term, right? Because we're on the 1 hour time frame. It means in the short term, the bears are in control of the Bitcoin charts. But there are some altcoins that are outperforming Bitcoin, and we'll talk about some of those today. But Rob, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin's price action? Were you trading this over the weekend? And what's kind of been your strategy in terms of Bitcoin? Are you actively trading it, or are you using that as a marker?
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny here. I mean, genuinely, I spent like 2 days just cooking Thanksgiving dinner, and I had like 10 people over.
Thanksgiving dinner.
And so, Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving, whatever, big ass dinner. So I had to unplug from crypto. Now I was watching the charts. So basically I took a couple of days off from trading. So I didn't buy anything. I didn't sell anything. I didn't do anything. Well, actually, hold on. No, I lied. Well, this morning I got into a fart coin short. I can only eat so much before I gotta let it get into a fart in a coin, you know. But is my short still open? No, that one closed. Okay, never mind. I lost.
Did you make money on it?
No, I lost $2,000.
You can't short the parts, man.
Yeah. Anyways, so I've been kind of eyeballing. I've been trying to figure out my next play. So I didn't actively enter into any trades. However, I have been looking to see what is a promising entry point on some of these altcoins. I'll start here with so this is crypto total market cap excluding the top 10 altcoins, and so here you can see that. Outside of Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana, Cardano, whatever is further down the list, you take the market cap of all cryptos in totality. You can see, what we have here. This is a good measure of where we're at kind of on the altcoin season. Back in last time we were down here at these levels, which is sub $200 billion, was back in September 2024. And so we haven't been down at these numbers in a while now. I would expect this to continue and look a little bit more like this and drop down even further down if the Bitcoin, if bull market's canceled, then we should see a further pullback. But I would implore to you, if you don't think that Bitcoin has if you think Bitcoin bottomed here recently, and we're going to go into 2026 and put in more all-time highs eventually, you got the Fed cutting rates. I think that if you identify the position in the market now, altcoins are about as cheap as they get. I saw that what was it? Cardano was at the cheapest price it's been since 2024 at 34 cents. I mean, you look here. This is Cardano on the 1 year. Look at this thing. I gotta slam dunk on Cardano at least once. And it's not anything against the pro. Just it's falling out of favor, right? Retail's getting burned out. They're just exhausted. They're selling. There's been a lack of DApps that are interesting, and the lack of stable coins, lack of DeFi. The tech is there, the community is there. The founder, Charles Hoskinson, is very vocal and pushes the industry forward. However, just lacks adoption. But anyways, I just wanted to show you that just altcoins are just getting hammered. So if you think there's gonna be a reversal, which I believe so, I think that I don't know if it'll be right here in January, but you do have all-time highs in the S&P 500, all-time highs in gold, silver, and so the U.S. economy, the global economy, is looking well. So is Bitcoin next? If you think so, then I mean, it's time to start putting in position, right? You don't want to start putting in position on altcoins, when things are getting frothy and you're getting these god candles. It's gonna be hard to make money. I know, Forrest, you put in a lot of positions on some of the alts that you did very well during the bottom of the bear market. And so are you eyeing any altcoins to get into, or are you still kind of on the sidelines? I know last week we talked about that you kind of exited alts for the moment and more into metals and other markets.
Yeah, I'm max long metals still. Like silver's up 7% today. I think platinum and palladium are up like 7. It's a full on bull market in gold, silver, and precious metals and copper. Like any metals are in a bull market. So that's where I've parked most of my capital. I have some XRP and Monero as a small portion of my portfolio at the moment. I have some other random cryptocurrency bags that are, or like altcoin bags that are just kind of like, I'll just hold them for a long time or forever, like Nano or whatever, but not a material portion of my portfolio at the moment. And I'm not actively trading crypto because I'm just not skilled enough of a trader to trade a choppy crypto market. What we've had has just been so hard to trade and make money in. But then, meanwhile, metals are just pumping full on, it's like metals right now feel like crypto in 2021 and 2017. It's just like up only. Every single dip gets bought. Central banks are buying, governments are buying, companies are buying. It's basically everything we wanted, all the news that we wanted to see for like Bitcoin of like central banks buying and companies putting it on their balance sheet. Like that's happening with gold and silver right now. So
can you,
that's where I'm primarily focused.
For the people that are wondering, okay, we get why gold and silver can go up, right? People are afraid. They, the devaluation of the currency, potential recession looming, but the stock market's surging too. Is there is there anything you can pinpoint to that relationship as far as metals running and the stock market's running?
We're witnessing a currency collapse. The US dollar and fiat in general is absolutely. I can share the chart
please.
that just shows just how. So this is gold, the gold versus TLT. So TLT is long-term bonds. What TL? I think would be in crypto. XAU. All right. So this is your gold versus your long-term debt. So gold is basically going up versus long-term debt at an alarmingly fast pace. Like since COVID, basically since April 20th, that was like the absolute bottom in gold versus long-term debt. This is long-term U.S. Treasury. So these are like your 30 years, your 20 years. Basically, all central banks in other countries are just dumping this U.S. debt in favor of buying gold. They could be doing that for a number of reasons. One being the U.S. has lost control of the amount of money that they need to print and how much debt that they've issued. So, for example, in 2026, $9 trillion in treasuries need to be rolled over, and the U.S. needs to find buyers for that debt. And if they don't, then rates are going to go higher. And if that rolls over at higher rates, the Ponzi starts collapsing. Well, Ponzi's already started collapsing, but it just accelerates further because the U.S. doesn't have a high enough GDP or it can't raise enough tax to offset its liabilities, its debt. So this is a full-on debt collapse. So what is the Argentinian
peso?
The Bolivar.
Yeah.
No,
So
Argentina's
I'm trying
peso.
to remember the ticker ARS. So USD ARS. All right. So this fractal, this is how fast the Argentinian peso collapsed versus the US dollar. So this is the US dollar versus the Argentinian peso, right? Obviously, the US dollar has gone up tremendously in value versus the Argentinian peso because Argentina has faced massive inflation. It's just totally collapsed. So this is down. So the Argentinian peso is down 99 point. I've got to adjust this down even further. 99.66% against the US dollar.
And that's
we take that
from
fractal and apply it towards gold versus TLT. So this US debt is crashing at a faster pace, right, than the Argentinian peso collapsed versus the US dollar. So this orange is the Argentinian peso. Look how much faster, we're I don't know, a decade ahead of the Argentinian peso in terms of how gold is performing versus long-term debt in the U.S. It's actually pretty alarming and scary, and I think it's gonna continue to a lot of people are like gold's overbought, silver's overbought. It's there's no such thing as overbought when your currency is absolutely collapsing. So the stock market generally does well too when a country's currency collapse. So if you go and look at currency collapses in various countries, usually their stock market does quite well in terms of their currency because people are just getting into literally anything but holding cash. So that's what I think is going on right now. I think we're seeing extremely fast currency debasement because the world has lost faith in the U.S. dollar.
So shouldn't Bitcoin then be a play here?
I think it will. Just I genuinely believe, and call me crazy for this. I genuinely believe because so many people run this damn 4-year cycle. Because here's the problem was going into 2021, there was very limited discussions on 4-year cycle. It wasn't a talking piece until we were in past 2021. After after we were into the thick of the bull market, people were like, hey, there's a cycle. Hey, this has happened over and over again. And now everybody was positioning themselves to see another bull market. And you know what? The smart money, they just dumped on them, bro. You can't let majority of retail position themselves and outsmart the market. The big money is going to always take advantage of them. Why do you think altcoins hit crazy peaks back in January of this year? Right? When we saw these crazy prices. Or it looked like altcoin season was about to take off, right? Cardano, and I'm just gonna start here just because I was just looking at the chart, but a year ago it was at $1, over $1. You look at Solana. I think Solana might have been the exception here. Yeah, well, Solana still was doing pretty good. Solana was at 250. That's when XRP was doing very well. XRP back in January was at $3, 320, and so the list goes on and on. I mean, there wasn't any projects like Avalanche is another good example of where it was. Avalanche was at $44 back in January. Anyways, this was supposed to be the kind of the start of altcoin season, and so retail was positioning themselves to say, hey, here we go, 2021 again. Everyone was buying altcoins. They were getting ready for that big run. It was like, hey, this is like 2020. This is when things started to ramp up. Smart money just came in and shorted the crap out of everything. They saw retail coming in, they just dumped. They saw an exit position. They might have bought things like Avalanche and Cardano, whatever it was, back in the bear market. So maybe in 2022, 2023, smart money is over here looking at these discounted projects. They're like, oh crap, look at this, man. We can get Avalanche for $9. We can get Avalanche for $11. We can get Avalanche for $20, whatever it was. Then retail got greedy, came in January, like, here we go. The smart money just came in and dumped on them. I think that's why. And so if you ask me, like, why are we in a position right now where everything's in all-time highs, the S&P 500, the metals market, I just think that people were expecting a 4-year cycle to hit.
So they try to front run the move.
Of course, we talked about it. Everyone talked about it. You go on X, everyone's like, oh, 4-year cycle. Now here we go, post-halving. Oh my God, like ETF. It's just once the community is all in agreement that a market's gonna go one direction, it goes the opposite. That's just it always happens that way, bro. Now, I'm not writing off Bitcoin. I think it's going to catch up. I think it's going to be laggard. I think that what you'll get is an exhausted market where people start to give up and just sell. And then we're seeing that now. That's why, I came in with the chart on total market cap here. The market's exhausted in altcoins, bro. Now, is this the point of reversal? That's where I'm putting my money at. I think people like Forrest and some other people are waiting for a clear signal that things are changing and we're reversing. But I don't know. We'll see.
I want to kick it over to Brendan. Brendan, you got any trade status for us today?
Do actually. How's everybody been? I've been gone for a while.
We missed you, bro.
Yeah, I missed you guys too. So right now I'm just looking right here at this. I'm looking for a long actually on Solana right here. Just a small long, nothing big. I'm on the 30-minute time frame right here. On the 1 minute, my setup was just not getting hit, but I knew that this has been just a weird little area these past couple, like I think it's a week or two it's been, that we've been tapping into this area and then pushing right back out, and we've done it 4 times now almost. So we just tapped in down here. I think we're going to get a push back up to the top here. So I'm going to try, I think I'm going to put a limit order right here at 121.40 and then try and get tapped in right here and push out all the way and hit TP around 124.9. That would be my goal for this trade, but I like this trade setup just because we've just been so choppy, and I don't think that we're going to make any crazy move to the upside or the downside right now. So I think that we could still hit this little ping pong movement right now.
That's on Solana, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, yeah. For me, I'm just as far as trading goes, I'm in a wait and see mode on Bitcoin. 87.1 has held so far. You can see this candle pattern here. We almost engulfed two of the previous red candles, but we didn't quite get there. We got there on a wick, not on a close, right? Close is what matters. But we still engulfed a previous one in almost its entirety. And so I think Bitcoin is going to remain flat for maybe a few hours, and then we're going to see a big move. Whether that big move is to the upside or downside, I think we have to pay attention to which way the price breaks on the 30 to 15 minute, come back to the 1 hour. Take a look at the VWAP line here. We've got our VWAP lower band sitting at 87 flat. If we all of a sudden start seeing a spike in volume, maybe something flashes on market side for A or B on the lower time frames. 15 minute, I like playing the blood diamond or the yellow X on the 15 minute. When I do see that, I do like to trade that, whether it's a short or a long, depending on where the rest of the market's going. And then come back to the 1 hour and check the volume. If you start seeing a spike in volume, guys, it's time to enter a short. Or if it's the opposite, it's time to enter a long. We see how fast the price moves. And, I was able to catch this move yesterday, not the entirety of it, but right at around 88, I think it was around 88.4, wrote it up to around 89,050. It's like a $600-$700 trade. And so we banked that on Christmas, usually low volatility. And so this is what we should be looking at, guys, is what's Bitcoin going to do? Now, there's nothing to do now, in my opinion, as far as Bitcoin is. It's going to be choppy, so pay attention to what the altcoins are doing. But let's not forget, let's come back to Bitcoin in a few hours. It will break one direction. I think that break is going to be fairly decent. I think 1.5 to 2.2-ish%. Multiply that by your leverage or margin. It's a really, really nice trade setup. I want to talk about this real quick. So you were, Rob, you were a big proponent in the last government shutdown hindering the price action to the upside of crypto. Well, could there be another one? Lawmakers left for Christmas without a budget deal or voting framework, increasing the risk of a government shutdown on the 31st of January. With no funding agreement in place, markets face the prospect of another shutdown in 2026.
It depends. Like, if you think you're going to get something similar to what we saw before, and I remember the last government shutdown was the longest one we had ever had.
Do you think we break that record this time?
Well, here's the thing, that this happens typically multiple times per year, right? And you usually cut a deal at the stroke of midnight, or the following week, a couple days later. And so this isn't anything new. This happens all the time. The one difference was the last deadline came and gone, and then we were like a month into it, 3 weeks, I don't remember what the timeline was, before they finally inked a deal and then reopened the government. And so if you just go by how many times has this happened, well, you can just say, like, in the last 10 years, this has happened, I don't know, dozen, 20 times, whatever it is. And they always come to an agreement at a reasonable time. Maybe it's a couple days late. So
is this looming shutdown going to affect the way you're trading or opening positions?
No, I would say if we're a week afterwards, so if we're on January 7th, for example.
You mean February 7th?
I thought it was December 31st?
January 31st.
January 31st? Okay. So if we're in February 7th, then at that point, like, okay. And even then, we still got, like, we still got a whole month left, man. It's plenty of time. Plenty of time. And you can also, like, you think about where Bitcoin's at now. I know you're just kind of going off the chart, but, remember there was a lot of people that, made money. Think about, for the first half of the year, all the way up until May, we really weren't above 100,000. You had a lot of Wall Street exposure, a lot of institutional exposure where people had bought Bitcoin, were sitting in profit. You know what? They were just realizing their gains for tax purposes. They were just selling. And so, you could find yourself in a situation where right when we open up in January, we could see a lot of buying because now companies have realized their tax position on Bitcoin for the 2025 fiscal year, and now they can re-enter in. so that's a thing too. You know, it's, you know, you look here, man, just a lot of consolidation, man. I was talking about it a couple of days ago. I think we're gonna see a big move now, whether it's to the upside or downside, I don't know. This is a month-long consolidation. Typically, you get this month-long consolidation on Bitcoin, you get sharp moves to the upside and downside. So, you know, could we go from, you know, like here we went 84,093 from 100K down to 80. So once we consolidate, we do get these big moves. So I am expecting something. Maybe it's the first week of January. Maybe it's, you know, the end of the month. I don't know.
Forrest, are you taking into consideration a potential government shutdown in about a month?
Not really. I mean, if it happens, it happens. Like usually any sort of like scary events are bullish for gold. So that's good. That's one of the good things about metals is like bad news is good news. So yeah, I mean, if it shuts down, I don't think metals are going to be affected by that. Crypto, on the other hand, unfortunately, like every bit of scary news, like just crypto tanks for whatever reason. So yeah, I mean, if it shuts down, it shuts down, but not horribly worried about it at the moment.
Cool. All right. I'll kick it over to Rob.
All right. I wanted to kind of go over some, you know, I started the show by saying that, hey, there's, you know, we're bottoming out on market cap on altcoins, right? Altcoins have gotten beat down. So I want to go by, this one's one I had my eye on. I know we were talking about this last week there, David. Avantis. This is something we brought up a while ago. If you're wondering what this is a base ecosystem play. It's a DEX. It's backed by Pantera Capital and also by Base itself. It's number 263 on the market cap list, so it's pretty small comparatively speaking. Less than $100 million market cap. If you can see here on the 1 week, it's performed quite well. It's up 50% on the week, and so it's made a big move. But if you would say like, oh, 50%, it's not gonna, like, this is its 1 year chart. So back in or not even a year. This was from back in September. So if you look at it, where it was at back in September, to get up to $2. Do I think it'll get there again? I'm not quite too sure. But for a position to get back up to $1, I'm pretty. I feel pretty good about this. If you feel like the base ecosystem will perform well, I think this is probably your number one pick. It is. You know, it has all the liquidity you need. It's on Binance, Coinbase. You know, it's you know, you can buy it through Aerodrome. So this right here, Perps Dex as well. So it's the number one Dex on Base. It's a Perp Dex as RWA. It's got a lot going for it.
I like this play too because there's a lot of talk about a potential Base token coming.
Yeah.
And what do people do when there's rumors of an airdrop potentially, especially for something like Base? They try to farm. They try to farm it. How do you farm it? You use the dApps. You use the protocols, right? You have some competitors. You got Hydrex. You got Aerodrome. But Avantis is an interesting one.
So for me, I like to, you know, I talk about it all the time, is like I'm always looking for a clean reversal. And so, you know, like here you had one, but it, you know, ended up selling off where we got down to 50 cents and it rallied back up to 80. But I don't know.
That's why you get it and you scalp your trade and you get out.
Yeah, that's why the first thing I said here, I was like, hey, I'm kind of eyeballing this thing to get to $1, which would be a 3x from where it is now. And that'd be my exit position there. I think $1. Maybe you would sell. Maybe you'd put you could put in your sell order prior to it. You know, just because we were here before, so you know, maybe 89 cents or something like that. But that's still more than a 2x, 2.5x from where we're at now. But yeah, I like this play. I still think that you know, RWAs is I think they have some RWA play, right? Oh, and also you know, they also have so the derivatives, RWAs. But the cool thing about this one, I was playing around with it is that you only pay the fees if you take profit. So if you close a trade out in the red, they don't charge you zero fees.
Interesting.
And then I think they actually like give you money if you lose. Like, sorry.
Loss protection.
Yeah. So here, position side $20,000 in
You
USDC.
get $40 back.
You get 40.
Good.
But I don't know. This I don't really pay much attention to, but I do like the zero fees on loss trades or when your position closes. Also, they do have some other stuff. They have Forex, metals, and oil in here as well. So I don't know. I like it. It's got a lot of backing, liquidity. It's a smaller market cap. It more recently had a price that was eight. It's down like 90% from where it was. 8x move to its previous all-time high. It was consolidating and selling off for quite some time. Now we're seeing a reversal. So this is something I'm keeping an eye on, and it's up 50% or 45% in the last 24 hours. I think it's got a little bit more to go.
Forrest, any thoughts on how to play the base airdrop farm? I think we're all in agreement. Base has pretty much said they're going to drop the base token. Is there you farmed a lot of airdrops for us. Is there anything that you are specifically looking to do to make sure you get some allocation to the base token?
No, I'm just hoping, hopefully I'll get a little stimulus, and then I'll just toss it into XAUT, which is Tether's gold backed, token. But yeah, that's like, if honestly, like that's what I'd be buying on base if I was like trying to get exposure to gold, and then also, maybe farm the airdrop. But if they do drop a token, I'll just, probably insta sell it and dump it into more gold and silver. Super bullish on gold and silver at the moment.
All right, fair enough.
I got my son a silver chain for
Nice.
Christmas, and I bought it like a month and a half ago, and I was like, wait, right time. Gave it to my son. I was like, hey, this stuff's at all-time highs right now. I was like, you better be careful.
Shows how shitty of an investor you are. I would have taken that silver necklace, taken to a pawn shop, having it, liquefied and then sold it, and then bought him a different present. Terrible. You're such a bad investor, man. I want to. So I'm bullish on robotics, and I want to share a 14-second clip from Elon Musk here, talking about robotics and AI. Take a listen.
AI and robotics is a supersonic tsunami. So this is really going to be the most radical change that we've ever seen.
And this is coming from someone who's taken how many companies has he taken to $1 billion plus? SpaceX, Tesla, Boring Company. Wasn't there another one? Forrest, wasn't there another one?
I know he sold PayPal for like 400 million.
Throw PayPal in there.
But 400 to 600 million.
The point is the guy's got a track record. He knows what the hell he's doing, right? And so robotics is something that you're already seeing it. I mean, if you guys remember, it was about a month and a half ago, we shared a promo clip from a company that launched some AI robot for your house. Remember, it was $20,000, but it wasn't. People were still pre-ordering it, although the robot wasn't doing anything itself. They had someone, a human being, with VR glasses behind the scenes moving the robot. But they're like, hey, in 6 months or in a year, the robot's going to be able to do this themselves. And people saw that like, oh, yay, here's my $1,000 deposit to buy the robot.
There's a lot of interest in his Optimus one. His Optimus one's doing pretty well.
Yes.
You got a bunch of pretender companies. They're just trying to.
My point is, AI and robotics, I think, is going to be a focus in 2026. And so I am getting early positions on robotics and AI. Now, my plays are a little more, I guess, intermediate term. I think Rob's are a little more shorter term, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But one that's interesting to me is Peak. This is number 410 on the market cap list. This thing is down 94% on the 1 year. You take a look at its ecosystem. It's got over 122 dApps in it. This is built on, I believe, Binance Smart Chain. But you have some massive bullish divergence here on the daily time frame. On peak, as you can see here, price action, we put in a lower low. On the RSI, we put in a higher low. And so this is something that is essentially at its bottom of its bottom. Okay? Can it go lower? Sure. Are the odds of it going lower high? I wouldn't say high. So for me, I look at a project like this, bullish divergence on the daily time frame. It's in a sector that I believe is going to start not only gaining a lot of narrative hype, but a lot of funding hype as well. There's going to be massive amounts of money flowing in to robotics, AI, and you could take that and stretch it anywhere. You can stretch it to payments. You can stay in infrastructure. You can do anything. Nano, which is what Forrest talks about all the time. Forrest, you and the nano community call it robot money, right? Why? Because it's feeless, it's free. And so robotics to me is a big one. There's another smaller play in the virtuals ecosystem. It's Vader AI. They've been around the virtuals ecosystem essentially since inception, almost since inception. They had a rebrand from Vader like AI like research to robotics. That hasn't caught on yet, but they're working directly hand in hand with the Virtuals Protocol team. And if you guys saw Virtuals on X put out a post saying they're putting substantial amount of positions in on robotics plays going into 2026, I think that's going to be a narrative that you guys need to pay attention to is robotics. I think AI is not going anywhere. And so get early positions, even if you venture outside of crypto and go into stocks. There's some stocks, look at defense stocks, right? Raytheon, I think, is working on some robotics plays. There's a couple other stock plays that you can have access to, or you can look at it another way. And here's the way we got to get our brains to think, right? Okay, if we think robotics is going to be good, but we're not sure which company is going to win, well, what things do they need to build the robots? What materials do they need? Maybe go down that list and look at it. Well, is something undervalued? I don't even know, like sheet metal. Aluminum.
Sheet metal.
I don't know, bro. Whatever they make these robots out of.
Sheet metal.
The material itself, too. So there's always ways that you can make money.
Going all in on plastics. Going all in on plastics. The PS4, it's got hard shell plastic. PS6. What's up, Forrest?
What were you going to say, Forrest?
They make them out of silver. This is one of the reasons silver is so bullish. The
Bingo.
Electrical components in robots are heavily use silver, and then the AI that the robots run on, the chips are made out of silver as well. And then all the electrical components in the data centers are copper. Copper's going through the roof. Gold is used in chips and electrical components as well. So, like, just comes back to gold and silver.
Forrest,
I did find if you guys want to pick up some sheet metal, I have it for $10.90 per sheet at Lowe's. Pick up and hodl your sheet metal now. It's 16 by 36 inch panels. There you go.
Wow.
I did you're talking about AI. Here was an interesting one I'd found. If you're in the AI play, this thing has gotten beat down, and this was something that was on AMP. Remember AMP? That one had the AMP was the ecosystem play layer one. It's fallen out of favor. I think AMP was initially in that SEC lawsuit, the one where Coinbase, the Coinbase employees were insider trading, and AMP was one of the tokens that they were getting position on prior to a listing. Remember that whole thing?
Yes.
Anyways, so this ACT-I here is something that was originally on AMP. AMP dumped this token.
That I is a 1, by the way.
Was it a? No, I think
Act 1, because there's an Act 2.
No.
Yes, it's trust.
Look at the website.
That's a 1.
It's an I.
Different.
It's an I.
It's a 1.
I.
It's a 1.
So act. So it's supposed to be AI ACT-I. So It's AI community token, and then anyways. So this token here is that a good spot? I don't know. It has if you go to its X profile, it has this partnership with Figment, which is a DEX as well. And so I don't know. This seems to be catching a little buzz. I think it might have bottomed. I'm liking this as an AI play, and so I don't know.
Yeah, that one to me is a little more. I know of this because I bought into Act 2 and I lost all my money there. So not all my money, but all the money I'd put into that project. So I guess Forrest.
So here's I copied from their X handle the I and I pasted here.
It's a Roman numeral. Okay.
I know what Roman numeral I. Those are usually.
Doesn't sound like it. It's Act 1, thank you. Because there's an Act 2. Anyways, Act on numbers and letters. We appreciate it. Forrest, any take on robotics? I mean, we talked about silver, talking about nano. Anything else that, well, one, are you bullish on robotics? And two, if you are, where are you looking to place your money if you are bullish on robotics?
Yeah, I'm bullish on robotics. So I think the number one play would be silver. Again, like ripping, it's like up, it's running like an altcoin right now. It's up 8% today. That's silver. It's like a $4 or $5 trillion asset at this point. It's like up 8% in a day, which is insane. And then also, if you want to get exposure to silver, exposure to robotics through silver, the silver miners haven't even run really yet. Like the silver miners, they're definitely up, but they haven't like broken out. Like this is a silver miner called First Majestic Silver Corp. Is in a massive triangle pattern dating back to like the 08-09 recession. You've got the Junior Silvers Miners ETF that has recently broken out, but I think it's going much higher compared to, so like it's up 2.3% today compared to silver's almost 8%. So I think these miners are going to play catch up. So I think you can play the robotics narrative that way. I think Tesla's bullish. I think you've got so obviously Tesla's building robots. Elon Musk is building robots. You've got to this is a 3-day trend, higher lows into higher highs. This is starting to consolidate into a nice little cup and handle, trying to break out. So I think Tesla's looking to break out.
Real quick, just to piggyback on your Tesla is that Elon Musk about a month ago was on Joe Rogan, and on there he was saying that he was going to announce he was going to show off the Tesla Roadster before the end of the year. Now here we are in the year. We haven't shown that off yet, but you would still anticipate it's coming around the corner. He's been alluding to this thing flying or having a rocket on the back, or I don't really know, but should be really, really positive PR. I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, and I think that once they unveil the Tesla Roadster and its flying capabilities, or wherever the hell it is, I think it's gonna pump the price up. I really do, especially if it's in a cup and handle position, waiting for a breakout.
I can see that. I whether it's AI in crypto or AI in general, AI is just going to be very bullish. That's kind of where I'm standing. That's all we got for the show today. Forrest, anything else you wanted to share?
I was just going to say, I think like BlackBerry is interesting. It's a little bit of a higher risk degen low cap stock play. Obviously, they used to make phones. They don't do that anymore. They actually build the software operating systems that robots run on. So that sounds pretty important. And it looks to me like maybe a big Adam and Eve bottom, some consolidation happening here. I do have a target like up towards $20 or so. It's currently around $4. This hasn't broken out yet. I've already bought some BlackBerry, but I'd probably add to my position if we can take out $5 or $6 here and get a real confirmed breakout. But other than that,
BlackBerry's an interesting one. I think it's got how GameStop and AMC were like the meme trades for the stock market. I think BlackBerry has kind of that vibe too. It's older. People still talk about it like it used to be, you know, the cool thing back in the day, but it's kind of gone into irrelevance. Very similar to like kind of GameStop. People just now with the new PlayStations, people just download the games on their console versus going and buying a physical game. So that's an interesting one too. So, all right, anything else you got there, Rob?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay. All right, Gino, roll the outro. Thank you all very much for tuning in. We hope you had a great time here with us today. Have a lovely weekend, and we will see you back here on Monday. Until then.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I?